Okay, this is the first segment of Pots Out of Poverty. And the goal is to give you something you can eat for like 5 days for under $10, all right? Because I've had apprentices and helpers come underneath me for the past 4 or 5 years, and every single one of these gentlemen who starts out in the trades, all right, I'm a mechanic, so I do drywall, plumbing, electrician, do it all. And the guys start up for me, and they're making maybe 13 bucks an hour. All right, so 13 bucks an hour, you're talking about $27,000 a year. All right, so by the time the taxes get done with it, you might be clearing 20. All right, and then the cheapest rent you can find in Ocean City, Maryland, is $600 a month. You subtract that out, that's another 7 grand out of the paycheck. So they got 13 grand to live off of. So that's gas, food, expenses, car note, insurance, etc. Right? And every single one of these guys, when they come in, they're green, they're 21 years old, they're fresh out of high school, nobody's taught them about finances. They eat McDonald's every day. And you're talking about $15 a day, just to get McDonald's in the city. Or Taco Bell or whatever you have. Or if you smoke cigarettes and drink Red Bulls, you're talking about another $10 a day. These guys aren't making enough to, live comfortably. So the goal of this video is take your money, stretch it, invest it into something else. Because if you save $10 a day because you were smart enough to cook something delicious, that's $50 a week. That's $200 a month. That's the premise of this whole thing. So tonight, I'm making ham, bone, and bean soup from a leftover ham that my neighbor was gracious enough. They had extra hams at his church, and he donated us a 20-pound ham. All right, so we've already been eating the ham. We cooked up potato ham hash yesterday. I gave some to my uncle because I couldn't eat it all. I gave some to my dad because I couldn't eat it all. And I still got 15 pounds of ham left. So we shucked the bones out. And if you look in the pot right there, we're brewing and boiling. You take the bones, you boil them for a half an hour on high before you even put any of your ingredients in, aside from the beans. The beans need the time to break down. And that'll give you your proteins, your starches. It'll taste magnificent. All right, so now we have the ham that we're going to throw in the pot. It's all diced up, ready to go. We got our onions, our potato, our garlic. We also got peppers, and we're going to throw in a bag of carrots. All right, so the ham was free. So really, this is kind of like cheating, but you can get a bag of carrots for $1. You can get a bag of dried beans for $1. You can get a whole bunch of onions and potato for another $2. So we're up to like, what, $5? Then you add salt and water and invest in a spice rack, because salt, pepper, and oregano make magic. People come over to my house, they're like, man, how'd you cook this? It's like, because I've been broke long enough to know how to stretch butter, like you got to make something delicious and still be able to put gas in the tank. So the whole premise of this whole segment is there's no excuse to be food poor, because you can eat something delicious for less than $10, for 5 days. So compared to McDonald's, I would much rather eat my own stuff that I know there's no processed nonsense, there's no chemicals, and everything we can reuse, we will. So if you look over here, I got myself my little compost bucket. If we crack eggs in the morning to make eggs, that goes in the compost bucket. If there's rinds off the watermelon, to go in the compost bucket, and that'll all go into compost that we put into the garden so we can grow food that we're going to eat in a month or in 2 months. We got to be smarter, man. I'm not throwing money away anymore. I want my house paid off, I want my truck paid off, I want my wife to be able to say, hey, let's go to Italy. Yo, I'm down to go to Italy, So the whole premise of this segment is just because you're not making good money doesn't mean you have to eat garbage. So we're boiling the bones right now. As soon as the bones hit about 45 minutes, you've done extracted all the good stuff out of it. You'll get all sorts of nutrients out of the bone, the marrow. The flavor that goes into that water is going to smell fantastic when you're cooking it. The second you throw the onions in there, you'll be good to go. My wife just walked in, coming home from work. She's like, it smells like Asian food. I was like, yeah, pork and salt and onions, man. Like, that's like staples. And you can do this with anything. You got leftover rotisserie chicken, boil the bones. You're making your own broth, and it wasn't sitting there processed and put preservatives and this, that, and the third. It's all organic. It's real good for you. Anyways, we start with the base. We have the bones boiled down. We'll pull them out. The beans are still getting soft and moist, so it makes a good soup. We'll throw the ham in last because we don't want it to get overly cooked. And you just keep it on high, on boil the whole time. Throw your potatoes and your onions and your garlic in because you want them to break down a little bit. It's easier on your gut. And we got carrots And if you want to give it a little creamier taste, you could add some butter or even cream. That's how you make bisque. Nobody ever told me that. You just add a little bit of cream to whatever you're cooking this soup. You can make a healthy bisque broth. And this pot right here is a 3-gallon quart, which means me and my wife gonna eat soup tonight, and I'm gonna have soup for 4 days for my lunches, because I don't care about being bougie. I care about stacking that money at the end of the day so I can buy a new exhaust for my motorcycle. But anyways, this has been Pots Out of Poverty. I am your hostess with the mostest. I hope you have a good night.